Hi everybody, hope all of you are doing well. I'd like to welcome you to yet another podcast of Andropique presenting Mic Testing with me, Gavin Phillips. Today we have with us someone who has tried the toughest, the hardest, and the cruelest trail. And not only tried, but also conquered them. Someone who celebrated every milestone of life with a new achievement in marathon running. His life journey is extraordinary and his energy is infectious. He's a Guinness record holder for running 60 marathons in 60 days. He believes in living a healthy life inside out. And this is what his upcoming book is also about. Dear viewers, please welcome on the podcast here today, Mr. Ashish Kasodekar. So, hi, sir. Very warm welcome. And I'm pretty excited to be interviewing you here today. Apparently, you've been a motivation for a lot of people. So, sir, warm welcome to Andropique presenting Mic Testing.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So, one thing, what made you start running in the first place? Because for people to start running, there has to be a reason. Like if there's a marathon coming, or I want to lose weight, or there has to be a reason. What made you start running?
Oh, actually, there was no specific reason as such why I started running. Always into fitness. So when people ask me, when did you start all these things, I always tell them, whatever I was doing as a child, I never stopped doing it. I continued what I was doing.
Right.
So I've been a basketball player from childhood and enjoying my basketball. Still, my first love is basketball. But in 2013, there was a run in BMCC ground.
Right.
Okay. 15 kilometers I ran. That was my first run, which is right in front of me right now. And it was a wonderful atmosphere. There was Zumba warm-up session. There were pretty girls around. And, the best part of running is like everybody who comes to the finish line gets a medal.
Right.
No other event happens that because, you have to be in first three to get something.
Right.
So, of course, it was not to get something, but then you feel that, feel of accomplishment, you enjoy that.
Right.
And I was really happy because I was into fitness, so I could do my 15 kilometers without any problem.
Right. Absolutely.
So, actually, I was very happy. I said, this is something nice. I must continue with this.
Yep.
And then I got into Mumbai Marathon. And Mumbai gives you plenty of energy.
Right.
So, when I did my first 21 in Mumbai, I was in love with running.
So that's why it never stopped you and it's still not stopping to run.
Absolutely.
So when people celebrate their 40th birthday, there's naughty at 40, there's crazy at 50. You did something crazy at 50. I'm sure you didn't party with your friends when you were 50, but you did 60 marathons for 60 days non-stop. Am I right, sir?
Yes, I did 60 plus 1.
60, but I'll just share with you what I see on daily basis, what I interact with. So when I do marathons, when I host marathons, apparently, I get to hear from a lot of people that I've been practicing for 3 months, 4 months to get my body into that running zone where I end up being ready for a marathon to complete that, whether it's a half marathon or a full marathon. I need to practice. There are things you need to do before you get into a marathon. You need to be mentally and physically ready. After a marathon, your cool down, your resting period is there. So I'm sure after you finish a marathon, you need time to rest to get back. You did 60 marathons, 61 marathons. How is that even possible? Or what are the challenges that you faced when you were doing these marathons? Every day, I'm sure you have to get up at a time, start, finish. It's not easy. How?
Actually, what you said, the journey is very important.
Right.
So it's not that, overnight I took a decision of doing 60 marathons, 60 plus 1 marathon. I will tell you the details why I always say 60 plus 1.
Plus 1.
So I've been running for a while. 2013 was my first run. Then I did 42. Then I did ultra marathons, Comrades, Ladakh. There are plenty of marathons I've been doing. Then there was Badwater, which is in USA, Brazil 135. Plenty of runs I did. So I've been running for a while. And slowly I got into the zone of, sustaining myself for a particular time.
Correct.
So there's a journey. So it's now that on my 50th birthday, like we spoke about 50 years. Usually I don't talk about my age because I've won a lot of bets on that. Now you've said it, I'm 50 years of age, so I will not say anything much. So 50th birthday, what happened is I wanted to do something different.
Right, sir.
I've always been celebrating these special days. Basically, I believe in celebrating life.
Yeah, you've celebrated a lot of days. 1 1 1 1
Yes,
2 2 2
yes,
2.
absolutely.
So, what is with you and dates, sir? Is there something that you like to do on these special dates,
I'll
or you
tell
like to
you.
create memories on these dates?
Yes. What happens is, see, whenever there is any special date which comes up, you have a lot of messages on WhatsApp. Somebody will send you a message that, this is after 200 years and this is
Correct.
will not happen again.
Correct.
Whatever. There were plenty of
There is
messages.
something about it, yeah.
So when you get these messages, I said, if I don't do anything, then it's going to be just another day. The day comes and goes.
Right.
I have to make it special from my side.
Right.
It has to be a story in my life. That's how I've been celebrating these special days. So when there was 11/11/11, like
Right.
2011, 11th November, I said, let's do cycling. So 10th of November 2011, the idea was to celebrate that day. So 24 hours prior, like I had to be in Goa 24 hours in 24 hours. So we started on 10th of November, and we reached on 11th of November to celebrate that
That particular special day.
So I did Pune to Goa in 22 hours.
Whoa.
Okay, the continuous
Whoa.
cycling.
Whoa.
Absolutely fantastic. It was never into fitness as such that time, long endurance cycling or endurance running. But I wanted to celebrate that day. And I could do that. Like all my friends, boys, girls, they all came directly to Goa, and then we celebrated that special day. I feel one must do something where if somebody asks you what you're going to get out of this, the answer should be happiness.
Happiness.
That is very, very important.
Right.
Because this celebrating 11/11/11, I was not going to get anything.
Right.
It was just a happiness. And
Right.
actually that gave me a lot of confidence that I could sustain myself, I can do something. So next year it was 12/12/12. So we did Pune to Pajgani walk, 100-kilometer walk. Walk, yeah. And we started one day prior, and then we reached Pajgani next day. We celebrated that day. Then there was 11/12/13. So I was a Harley member that time. So I said, let's do something crazy. So I did Burn Burner. Okay. So Burn Burner is basically you have to do 2,400 kilometers in 36 hours.
Okay.
So I was riding for 36 hours.
From where to where? Where did you go?
I went up to Madurai Road.
Right.
At 1,200 kilometers, I had to take a U-turn and come back. So there's a small story, when I reached Madurai.
Right.
Not Madurai, Madurai Road, where there was 1,200 kilometers, I had to take a U-turn. So there's a toll naka. I went a little ahead. I saw 1,200 kilometers on the meter. I took a U-turn and I was coming back. There was another gentleman on the Royal Enfield. He said, can we meet for chai? So it was really, it's risky to wait like this on the highway. But I was tired. It was 1 o'clock in the night, and I said, okay, let's have chai. And there was toll naka there. So there were some other truck drivers also. So when we stopped there, one truck driver came to me and he said, Dare, I just saw you going from here. And he was wearing a helmet, and I showed him my helmet. And I said, it was me only, and I'm coming back now.
Right.
He said, where did you go? I said, no, I just went a little ahead. I took a U-turn, and I'm going back. He saw the number plate. He said, you're from Maharashtra, right? I said, yes, I'm from Maharashtra. He started wondering, like, why this fellow has come all the way to take a U-turn. So he looked at me and he said, ये इधर दारू पिया हुआ है नहीं तो ये पूरा पागल है. That was his expressions. And I told him, I said, ज़्यादा दिमाग को तकलीफ मत दो, ये ऐसा ही है. This is how life is.
Right.
And I moved from there. I came to Pune. Then we celebrated 11, 12, 13. That was a wonderful itinerary. So celebrating all these days and enjoying myself.
So let's talk a little about your 60 days, because I'm curious to know what you did 60 days, 60 plus 1. But before we go into that, what is 60 plus 1? Why do you call it 60 plus 1?
So I was coming to that now. When I became 50 years of age, I said, let's do something special because I need to celebrate my birthday. The idea was to do 50 marathons, 50 days. But somebody said, since you're doing 50, then why not do 59? Because there's a 60 marathons, because there's a Guinness record of 59 marathons. I said, okay, we can try it 10 more, and then, you go in for a Guinness record. Guinness record is because when you're doing a record, it helps you to get more people involved into your activity. And it happened the same way. So we started on 28th of November. And the idea was to finish on 26th of January to celebrate, to finish 60 marathon. I had invited, every 2 days there was a group coming in, my school friend, because I was celebrating my 50th birthday. So every 2 days there was a group. There was a basketball friends, school friends, college friends.
So you had known people joining you on the run.
And it was a wonderful journey because so many people, in spite of COVID, there were so many people who came to university. They were looking for some opportunity. They were looking for some positivity. And it worked really well because that particular time, people were looking for positivity. People were looking for happiness
Right.
because everything was going in a negative way.
Right.
So that really worked well. So that was the reason I did those 60 plus one.
So the 60 days of you running, did you have anyone from maybe someone who you did not know prior who came and joined you in the run? Was there anyone like that way?
Oh, there were plenty of stories on those 60 plus 1 days. Um, 60 plus 1, what happened is it was open for everybody.
Right.
And I always used to tell people we had to do 5.2 kilometer, 8 loops to do 42 kilometers. It was in Pune University. So the university is a beautiful campus.
Beautiful place.
So people were happy, enjoying themselves.
Right.
So a lot of people, they came. People who were not doing anything, they started doing something. One loop at least. I used to tell them, I said, ek loop to
Ek
karo.
kar lo.
And people were happy.
Right.
They said, Arey yaar, this is really nice to do 5 kilometers. So they started doing something. People who were doing 5, they started doing 10. People who were doing 21, they did their first marathon.
Right.
Somebody celebrated their birthdays. People celebrated their anniversaries. There were, there's a guy from Lucknow who came there, young boy. When we used to start at 6 o'clock in the morning. This gentleman was sleeping on that stage. Okay, when we came there, we saw him sleeping there. And we woke him, our team woke him up, and he said, boss, I'm here for a run. I said, tu kahan se aaye? He said, I'm from Lucknow and I came here in the night and I took my friend's cycle and I'm here for a run. So we saw his bib number and all. Our team gave him a bib number and we started running.
Right.
So this fellow was really fast. Okay, first 4 loops he did it in like 1 hour, 20 minutes and all.
Oh.
So everybody started talking about him. He kaun hai? Kahan se aaye? What is he doing? So he finished his marathon in 2 hours 55 minutes. I think sub 3 he did it. But he was so simple. Like when we were talking to him, our team started talking to him. He was sub 3 runner is a big guy. I mean, he's a fast runner. He said, "Who are you and from where you are?" He said, "I'm from Lucknow and that's my passion." So he works for a Gora family.
Yes, sir.
And he said, I've done a deal with them that they pay me a monthly whatever salary is, and then they pay for my passion. So I decide to choose a place where I have to go and run. They sponsor my run. Wow. So he usually goes to a place and he never comes back to that place again. So he plans to visit different places and finish a marathon.
Yeah, sir, I've noticed one thing that people in the running community, I'm using the word community because there's a community that actually exists. Whether I have seen a community in Pune, in Mumbai, in Delhi, in Calcutta, wherever these marathon runs happen, people come with the community, as in a community, and you see everyone gelling with one another, everybody happy with one another. And I just said, there is positivity all around. I have seen, with only runners, I've seen a lot of positivity. There's no hatred, there is no anger, there is no aggression. There's the excitement to finish the run. And I think one thing which motivates people to run for these marathons and half a marathons is, that even if I win, you get a medal. But if I finish, I get a finisher medal. I'm not going to go home empty-handed. I'm going to go home with something. I think that is one thing which motivates them to complete the run.
Absolutely. It is very, very important because when you're at the start line, everybody's equal. When you're practicing also, everybody's equal. And the amount of people, because I always talk about the feel of accomplishment. So when you come to the finish line, there's a pretty girl waiting for you to give a medal. So you feel nice, you've done something. So that's really important. Then the timing really doesn't matter much. So people have different focus. Some people, they want to do it in a particular time. Their focus is different. Their training is different.
Right.
Some people, they just want to be there at the finish line. They want to enjoy the community, the happiness and positivity. They enjoy that. So overall, there is happiness at any marathon you see.
Right, sir. So out of these 61 days that you ran, any story that you would like to share with us? Any incident that happened on a day, or you met someone special, or someone with with very positive vibe that he gave to you that you would like to share with us?
Absolutely. If I give you all the stories, then we have to sit here till evening. So I'll tell you one very prominent story which very close to me. There was a gentleman who came there on a wheelchair.
Right, sir.
Okay, his name is Abol, and he was there. He came with his friend. They had a discussion that university mein koi to bhag raha hai, chalo dekh ke aate kya kar raha hai. So that's why those two guys were there.
Right, sir.
And this fellow on a wheelchair, he asked me, "Sir, can I do one loop with you tomorrow?" I said, "Boss, this event is for all of us. So whenever you feel like, just come here. Our team is here to give you whatever support you need." And next day he came, he did one loop, then he came again and they did 2 loops. Then he asked me, sir, can I do 42 kilometers with you? On a wheelchair, of course. Because what happens is on a normal marathon, wheelchairs are not allowed to do
Right.
42 kilometers. They are allowed to do maximum 21 kilometers. So he asked me for 42 kilometers. I told him, boss, this is for us. So whatever you need, just have to say yes, and then our team will be there to support you. So he was there next day morning, 6 o'clock. He was ready on his wheelchair
Right,
with
sir.
a bib number. And he started, we were running and he was on a wheelchair.
Wheelchair.
So I usually used to talk to people. Everybody who comes there, I used to talk to them and check with them about their story. So I asked him, what happened to you? Why you're on a wheelchair? But I asked him, I said, you must have told this story to so many people. If you're not comfortable, don't
That's
tell
okay,
me.
right.
I'm not. Just that I feel that it is important. He said, I want to tell you. It is important for me. He started telling me that at the age of 24, when he
Right.
was, he is from the Indian Army.
Okay.
And during the training program, last day of his training program, there was mind blast, and then he lost his legs that
Oh.
time. His mother gave him a good support, and then he was there on a wheelchair. He represents India in Asian Games for rifle shooting.
Oh.
Okay, so that was another inspiring thing. He finished his 42 kilometers with me that day. And the wheelchair was not a very fancy wheelchair. It is a regular wheelchair where you have to use your hands
Hands.
to move ahead.
Right.
Even if there's a climb, he has to use it.
Yes.
And to stop also, he has to use his hand.
Right.
So he's this powerful hands he had. So when I finished my run, he had finished little before me. And when I went there to give him a medal, I could see everything in his eyes, that happiness, that positivity, that accomplishment. It was absolutely fantastic. Looking at his eyes, I could never complain that, I'm tired or I
Right,
want
sir.
to, I want to stop now. I could never do that. So all those things were happening on that 60 days. And that helped me to sustain myself for 60 days. 60
Wow.
plus 1.
60 plus 1.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people who compete in marathons make sure that their performance is the best. So they apparently practice at low altitude areas like in Leh, where there's less oxygen. So they're able to give their best. So when they come down to a city like Pune, or they come like in a city, state like Kerala, when they're performing in any marathon, they know that the body can perform well because if they perform at low altitudes. Yes, we can do it right here. You just did a run, sir, from Kerala right up to Leh. Am I right, sir?
Oh, yes.
From the lowest point to the highest point, and you had passed cities, states, and you ran non-stop. Right? I mean,
Yes.
obviously, so you passed different states, you had different weather conditions. How did you sustain it? Because when you run, like as you did 60 or 60 plus 1 in Pune, if I'm not mistaken, in the university, it was the same route that you were doing. You were used to it. Even if you were doing it blindfolded, you would know abhi turn aayega, abhi aage
Absolutely.
jana, abhi climb hai. When you're doing from one part of the country to the other part, how was it? What are the difficulties that you face, sir?
I don't call them as difficulties, obstacles. You can say few things which made little different. I enjoy those activities. I always believe that you must enjoy the pain,
Right.
enjoy the journey. So low to high, the event is called low to high.
Low to high.
So when I did 60 plus 1 marathons, I saw a lot of people getting
Inspired.
positive and inspiration. I said, let's do this on a larger level. That was the idea. So, see, everybody has this phrase low. Everybody goes to their low in their life. Similar way, everybody goes to their high in their life. But both are not permanent. The low is also not permanent and high is also not permanent. So I said, let's do something to enjoy the journey from low to high. So when you are in low, how you should aim at high and enjoy the journey towards high. That was the aim. That was the idea we came up with. And we decided to run from the lowest point of India called Kutunat to Umlingla, which is the highest point
Right,
of the
sir.
road.
How many people ran together, sir?
How many?
How many people ran?
Oh, it was only me.
Only you.
Usually Ashish was running and we had a crew team with me.
Okay.
My friends were with me as a team and
Right.
they were with me throughout. So it was a wonderful journey because I was enjoying the journey. I was enjoying meeting people, different people. The theme was Ashish was going to run for 76 days to celebrate 76 Independence Day.
Right.
That was the main goal. Okay. Now this was Ashish's idea. Cumulatively, all of us together had to achieve. We made an app where people had to register across the world, and we will achieve a target of 76 lakhs kilometers. That was the target. And people from different parts of the world, they registered on that app and they started doing their activities. So idea was like I was running for 76 days. Somebody will take a challenge for 30 days, somebody will take a challenge for 20 days to achieve their target. And they can do it whatever place they are comfortable with.
Right, sir.
So we had people from Africa, we had people from Germany, USA, everywhere. People register on that. Two types of people I was looking at. One is who are already into fitness, who will help me to build that mileage. And the other type of person who is not into fitness, I want them to start something. People who believe in tomorrow, people who believe in Monday, people who believe in New Year target. All those people, what they need is they need some push. Somebody has to start something.
Right.
I wanted to be that push. And they started their journey. So, it happened really well. There were heavy rains. There was humidity. There was sunny. It was sunny most of the places. High altitude. We got all types of weather. Some places we started a run at 93% humidity.
Wow.
And 6 o'clock in the morning. So I used to...
So you should run at 6 in the morning. What time you used to end your run, sir?
We used to finish by about 4 o'clock.
Okay.
We followed the circle. We had breakfast time, then there was lunch, then there was tea break. So all those things we used to follow the time.
So on a daily basis, approximately how many kilometers you used to complete?
We started with about 62 to 65 kilometers, about first 40 days. And then slowly when we got into high altitude, like from Manali onwards, we were doing about 30, 35, sometimes it was 40. Because high altitude, we had to be careful. And that's why we created our buzzer. When we did 65, see, average it was about 55. But when we did 65, we had that buffer time,
Right.
about 3 to 4 days,
Correct,
which we could utilize it in the high altitude.
How did you feel, sir, mentally when you were doing this low to high?
See, all these activities you have to be mental and mentally fit to do all these things.
Right.
Important was to take a decision to do something like this. And see, physically I've been doing all these activities, so I was ready. I wanted to do something. I wanted to meet people. We met different type of people.
Right.
See, Kerala was completely different. If you see, Kerala is more organized. You have perfect roads. There is no slum area anywhere. You don't find any construction happening anywhere. Infrastructure-wise, it's absolutely fantastic. But nobody talks to you. Nobody even asked me why I'm running, what is happening, nothing.
Okay.
So nobody talks to you. Slowly you go up, then you have little...
So after
warmness.
Kerala, where did you pass through? Which state do you pass through?
So we passed 9 states and 1 union territory.
Okay.
So it was Kerala, then Tamil Nadu, then Karnataka, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan.
You tried, so you passed through all these states. I'm sure you tried the cuisine, local cuisine as well, or you
Absolutely.
were on a strict diet because.
No, not at all. I enjoy everything. I enjoy
So
because
when you
I
were
was
in
burning so
so when
much.
you were in Kerala, what did you eat?
Kerala, we had biryani every day. Kerala, they serve fantastic biryani. So we had biryani every night.
Right.
And breakfast, we used to have all their local food. So whatever we had local food. See, I always believe whatever we have, we must have it with happiness.
Right.
When I have a food in front of me, I must enjoy that meal. It is very important because I was burning. I know what I'm going to do that. Like next day, exercises in my hand again. So, you eat well, you enjoy that meal, and then you burn that meal again next day. So you do both the activities which are enjoyable.
Right, sir.
So that's what I used to follow. Tamil Nadu was pretty good. The moment you go up, Haryana was absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
We talk about food. As a runner or any fitness activity, we always say that, non-veg is very important. We must have boiled eggs, we must have chicken, mutton, that gives you proteins.
Right, sir.
But in Haryana, they don't have non-veg.
Yeah.
There is no non-veg at all.
So then?
Okay. We visited a sports school, a wonderful building, and then they have all the athletes practicing for their particular sport, what they... Absolutely fantastic, fit. Everybody was looking absolutely fit. They have soya beans. They have all vegetarian food. They eat soya beans, ghee, ghar ka ghee, and milk. This is what they believe in.
Wow.
Absolutely fantastic. No non-veg at all. We visited a school where 400 boys can eat, and then we saw some dabbas there. So we asked that Om Prakash Dahiya, he's a Dronacharya award winner, and he said all those people, all the people who are studying there, they carry their ghee from home. It is very important. घर का घी होना चाहिए और घर का दूध होना चाहिए. This is what they believe in.
Wow.
Absolutely fantastic. Like, that day, next day when I was leaving, when my flag off was there, I saw there were about 9 Palwans. They were going for wrestling championship, Asian Games.
Games.
They were getting ready for Asian Games. I could see 9 of them with, they must be 120, 130 kilos in that category. And they were so polite. In front of them, like I was running for 60 days, I already lost my weight completely. And they are like, sir, उसमें से एक भी आदमी का थोड़ा भी उसका मूड खराब होता था ना, तो you could have seen all this 9 big guys were in front of me. And I was like, but they were calling me sir, and doing this, you're running that. So they were very polite.
These wrestlers, Pelwans, apparently in India, are very, very humble.
Very, very good.
You have no, I can't even explain to you. They're so humble. They will come to you politely. They will talk to you. So recently we did a Pelwan event for Andropique, and me and one of my teammates, Adesh, we entered in, and we were surrounded by apparently 10, 12 Pelwans, and they're talking Shuddha Marathi.
Yeah.
And I don't know Marathi very well. I know Tuta Futa Marathi. So I was talking in my Marathi that I know, and I couldn't understand what they were saying. They couldn't understand what I was saying. Then I spoke a little in Hindi. They understood. I said, trophy aa raha hai. They said, हाँ ठीक है, समझ में. I got scared. I said, अभी उठा के पटक देंगे. But then they became so polite, sir, and it changed the entire mahol.
Absolutely.
So when I went, and as you said, there were 9 guys who were super heavyweight.
It is very, very important. There's so much to learn from that, because when you have such physique, and then you have somebody who's in, and then you be polite. But that's there in Haryana, because there's another young girl. She was going for Asian Championship. She was so polite. She never looked at that coach, the guru and coach. I saw the difference there. What is guru and what is coach? I saw the difference there. She never looked into his eyes any time, because she thinks that he is my guru. So she never looked at him. They here in maybe city, urban areas, you can say, you will see somebody who's going for Asian Championship. You will see a Nike tracksuit, and you say, boss, who are you to tell me? I have done this, I have done that. So there was simplicity completely. There's so much to learn in Haryana. Absolutely fantastic. So I enjoyed all these different cultures everywhere, and I could finish at Umlingla. So,
which is the most difficult patch that you had to pass through, sir? Was it after passing Manali?
There was no difficulty as such. One patch which I specifically will say that, from Ghorbandar area, where you got into Bombay-Ahmedabad highway, that was a difficult patch, a bad patch you can say, because it was pouring that time, and there is no service road. Then I had to run on that white line, just away from the white line, and the trucks were going very close to me. There was chikhal everywhere, so it was little bad that time. So that 1 or 2 areas you can say. Otherwise, rest of the time I was enjoying myself, meeting different people and talking to them. It was wonderful. The finish at Umlingla was amazing, because the 40 people from Pune, they came there, and there was a slight rainfall, snowfall also when I finished. It was absolutely fantastic.
So your journey has been really, really inspiring. Especially a lot of people achieve success only when they fail, when they fall. When you competed in a run in South Africa, you were just around 200 meters away, if I'm not mistaken, from the finish line. And you were not able to complete the run.
Yes.
Being so close, that's where I'm ending. You can see the end point. That's where I'm ending. And you were not able to end it. What actually was going on? What exactly was happening at that point of time?
It's very important, because Comrades it is called Ultimate Human Challenge. Okay, that's 89 kilometers, which happens in South Africa. It's a ritual. Like 1 year it is up run, the second year is down run, and they've been doing that for 100 years now. And it's quite a popular run in India. A lot of people, they go for Comrades. And when I did it in 2016, okay, I did just one marathon, and I decided to go in for Comrades. Usually you need to practice well, and then you go for Comrades.
Right.
But I was lucky that I got a bib, just finishing one. I said yes for Comrades. I went there. I was there at the start line. I was doing pretty okay. It's not that I was very well prepared for it, but still I was comfortable. You have 7 loops to do to complete 89 kilometers. There's a lot of up down. It's a tough race. I finished 6 loops. 6th loop was 6 cutoff. You call it as cutoff. So 6 cutoff, I did it just few minutes prior. And then I saw you have about 40 minutes to cover 7 kilometers, which is a comfortable time. So I got into comfort zone. I started talking to people
Yes, sir.
and I was doing something different. So I wasted a lot of time because I got into comfort zone. But before I could realize, the volunteer girl comes to me and she said, "You have your name written on the T-shirt." And she said, "Ashish, you have 3 kilometers to cover and you have only 15 minutes in hand." I said, "Shit." I didn't realize the time. And I said, "Only 15 minutes." So I started running very fast. So I had the energy. I could do really well. I ran very fast. The finish is in the stadium, okay? And the stadium is filled with people. There is a competitor who's shouting. There is countdown. There's a lot of action
Right.
happens in the stadium. We got into the stadium. See, there are 20,000 athletes who participate for that event. So 20,000 good athletes. So every time, whatever you're doing, you have people with you.
Right.
So we were about 7, 8 of us who got into the stadium. I could see the finish line, which was 200 meters away,
Right.
and there was a buzzer of 12 hours.
Right.
So you have 12 hours to finish that 89 kilometers. We looked at each other. I said, "What happened?" And everything was over for us. I went to the finish line, and the other friends of mine, there were 6 of them, they were waiting for me at the finish line to take a picture. I was not very comfortable. And what happened is, I was not a finisher, okay, that time. So we clicked a picture, we went to the room. When I went to the room, I saw a lot of messages from my friends, my family members. They were saying that, "Ashish, you can do it, just 5 kilometers to go, 3 kilometers. So you can track this race because this is online tracking." So everybody was following me and then it was trying to cheer me up. Then I said to myself, "Boss, this is not done because, I could not finish that race only because of my casual approach. It's
Correct.
not that I was tired or I had cramp. There was nothing happened to me. It was only the casual approach." I said, "Boss, when it's not that I'm a landlord and then, just throwing money, nothing like that." So I said, "If you're spending money, people are expecting something from you, and why you can't finish it just because of your casual approach?" I said, "This is not done." So at 2 o'clock in the morning, in that particular hotel, there's a hotel called Blue Water, which is facing the sea. 2 o'clock in the morning, I changed my WhatsApp DP. Because my roommate, even he was there, he was a finisher. Even I was a finisher, but unofficially.
Correct.
I ran 89 kilometers, he ran 80 kilometers, but he was fast asleep. I could not sleep because I was 200 meters away. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, I changed my WhatsApp DP. It says, "Keep calm, 365 days to go." I changed that WhatsApp DP. I came back to India. I analyzed my run. First of all, I accepted my defeat. "Boss, you're not a finisher." If I had to come out with excuses, usually we do that. If I had to come out with excuses that, this happened, the organizer did this, there was no signboard, I lost my way, there was a cramp, so whatever. Excuses are not good. So I accepted my defeat. "Boss, you're a non-finisher." There was a function. They said they've invited all the comrades finisher. I said, "Boss, I'm not a finisher. I should not be going there." I didn't go there. So that helped me because I accepted my defeat. I analyzed my run, what is important, how much time I should spend at the water station, what practice I need to do. And next year I went to comrades. I finished my run about 50 minutes in hand, and I was
Wow.
there as a finisher. So very important lesson I learned is, boss, you have to accept your defeat. If I had to not accept my defeat that time, probably I would have been there only. So I accepted my defeat and analyzed my run. And now today I'm the finisher of whatever toughest, longest, whatever marathons I did. So it's a wonderful feeling. So that 200 meters has played a very important role in my life.
Right, sir. That I think has given you a reason to believe in yourself and know that you can do it.
Yes.
It gives, failure I think gives you a chance to make sure that whether you want to do this or not, and if you want to, how serious are you about it?
But that happens only when you accept your defeat. It is very, very important to accept the reality. Whatever it is important for everyone in all the fields. The moment you accept the reality, then it becomes much easier to handle the situation.
Right. So like in every sport that we have, every athlete has a different type of nutrition that is needed. What is the nutrition that you live on when you're competing for a run or when you're practicing for a run? I'm sure you run on practice on a daily basis, but there's a particular thing in your diet that I need to consume this, or this is what I consume. I do not consume particular things. Is there something like that you're on a fixed diet or?
Not really. I don't get into diet business as such.
Right.
But I follow discipline,
Right.
which is very important. The food which we have, Maharashtrian food, or you can say Indian food, which is very good, because if you have it on time, you
Right.
have your breakfast on time, you have lunch on time, dinner on time, definitely.
So you don't have something called a cheat meal.
I do everything. So like I said before also, whenever there is something in front of me, I eat it with a lot of affection. So it digests well. Next day, again, it is in my hands to burn those calories.
Correct.
Whatever I do. So I do both the activities with happiness. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
If I like gulab jam or whatever, I'm just giving an example. I must have them with happiness. Okay.
Right.
If I say, "Yaar, nahi, I have to do this, I have to do that, I'll only have half gulab jam." It's not right. You're not doing justice to that gulab jam. If you really like it, you go for it. But next day morning is in your hand again to burn them.
Yeah.
So it is very important to do whatever. It has to be done with 100% effort. That is what I always believe in. Whenever I register for an event, then I try to change a little bit, add more of boiled eggs, and then there is chicken and more of protein. But I don't do anything extra. No added. See, diet, I feel you must do it the way it is. The diet should be which is available to you and which is affordable to you. That is very, very important.
Right.
If somebody in USA says that you must have this avocado juice, so maybe I'll do it for 2-3 days because he said this. But they can't be disciplined because it's difficult to get that.
Correct.
And it's difficult to arrange so much funds also to that. I said you must have something which is available to you and which is affordable to you. That's what I believe in. It is very important.
Right.
We also have sattu. I use that as a protein shake.
Right.
Sattu.
There's a lot of things going on in the market right now. Is sattu good for you or is protein good for you? What do you like? A lot of people are having a lot of debates on that, sir, as well. What does
sattu works for me? So I've never had any issues.
So you never tried having any kind of protein shake prior, or what is it like?
Never. I never have any protein shake anyway. So sattu we usually like when I did my run in Ladakh. That particular time we were looking for something which is easy to carry and which gives you more energy. So that's how the sattu came up, and we've been using that for all the events now. So sattu works for me. So basically, natural diet what I follow.
Right. So like when you go any sport, any athlete, whether it's cricket or bodybuilding or weightlifting, if it's an individual athlete, he somewhat gets a brand connected to him for his, which help take care of his nutrition or his training. Like I said, that gentleman came all the way from Lucknow, where the people said they'll sponsor one run of his every month. How does sponsorship go for runners in India? Do they have a lot of brands who sponsor for runners, who motivate runners?
Not really. See, sponsorship and it's a vicious circle. So you have to be socially very active to do this. Running, so far, it is not a very glamorous sport as yet. Slowly getting into the culture, but till the time the glamour comes in the picture, there won't be any sponsorship.
Right.
So slowly things are getting to a better level. The runners are getting sponsorship. Ultra marathon is still not very popular, but like I said, it is going to a better level.
I think every marathon you do, you see at least 2% or 3% of people, more new faces coming down there to compete in it.
Yes. There are number of athletes are increasing for sure, but there are no spectators. We should have more spectators. We should have culture. Culture will take more time. You see a marathon which happens in New York, say. So you have like 50,000 runners who are running, and then there are 2 lakh people who are running who are there on the road to cheer them. So that's very important. So that is what culture I'm talking about. So culture plays a very important role, but it is going to a better level. Slowly things are getting to a better level. Government is very supportive. Government is coming out with new schemes, and so everything is going to a better direction.
So what are the difficulties that runners face when they are practicing and stuff? Excel, as you said, you used to practice in the University of Pune. So there are places in different parts of this country apparently, but if people want to participate, practice running, and if there's no place that they can go and do it, is the government helping runners?
Running, you don't need a specific place. Running, you can do it anywhere. You don't need a specific place for that. You can do it on the road anyways. So you just have to follow warm up and cool down sessions, because a lot of people have this think that when you run on the road, tar road, this is bad for your knees.
Right.
So it is not that way. If you follow your warm up sessions and cool down sessions, you do stretch well, I think it is pretty okay.
So you're very familiar with numbers. Numbers is something very close to you. What can you tell me something about 555? Can you tell us something? I think there's something of 111, 222, 333, 444, 555. What exactly is it, sir?
Oh yes. Good you said the other numbers, because the moment you said 555, it goes to a cigarette brand. So,
No, we are entirely speaking about
so
health
there
and
are
fitness.
other numbers. So good,
Yeah.
you said those 111
Yeah.
and 30. So basically, I did my first marathon in Leh,
Right, sir.
which is at 11,000 feet. And that's how I fell in love with Himalaya. And Himalaya always calls you back. The mountains, they always call you back. So started running. I did my 42, and then I did for 72 kilometers in Ladakh. And then I got to know about La Ultra. There is a company called La Ultra. They organize events for athletes, and it is called the Crewless Marathon. So they do 111 kilometers, 222 kilometers, 333 kilometers. That's where their runs were. And I did triple one, and then I did triple three. So when I did 111 kilometers, I was there at the function. Dr. Richard, I was very happy that I ran 111 kilometers in Ladakh, and I became the first Punekar to do that and all.
Yeah, because
I was
when you
very
say
happy.
when you go to Ladakh, people think you normally go to Ladakh for a bike ride, to enjoy the scenic view at Ladakh. But when you say you've gone there for a run, it takes at least few seconds for the person in the opposite to
Yes, yes.
realize that you went there for a run, not for a bike ride.
Yes, but you've seen, you must have done it on the bike. So riding gives you that happiness when you're. It's called a paradise for all the bikers.
Absolutely.
The similar way it is a paradise for others also, because Himalaya you must see it openly, either while running or cycling or on the bike. Otherwise, you're watching a TV, so it has to be open. And so when I registered, I was there, I was telling you about the function, and I was very happy that I did 111 kilometers. But at the function, the organizer kept saying that, 111 kilometers is a baby run. And because there were other participants who did 222 and 333 kilometers. So I decided that I must come back to do 333 kilometers instead of 222, because you need to invest so much money again and then time. So I said, let's jump for 333. So I did a lot of practice and I attempted 333 kilometers. I had a dramatic finish for 333 kilometers. 333 kilometers, basically you have to do 3 passes. So you start at 10,000, you go up to 18,000, you come down to 10 again, then you climb 17 and a half. So 3 passes you have to do. Distance is the last aspect. There you have cutoffs. You have temperature variations, like the temperature goes from minus to plus 40 degrees, and you have 50% oxygen. Then the distance comes in the picture. So when I did 333 kilometers, which was a dramatic finish because you have a cutoff of 72 hours, and because of hallucination, I could finish my run just 31 seconds prior. So it was the most dramatic finish for any athlete, because ultra marathons you don't have finish like this, but it was a dramatic finish. At the function, that after completing 333 kilometers, the organizer announced 555 kilometers is going to be an X edition, because they were completing 10 years of their organizing event. They announced 555 kilometers, and I decided to go for that. I said, let me attempt 555, because that was happening for the first time.
And what is the time limit for it, sir?
You have 132 hours to finish 555 kilometers.
Okay.
So day and night you have to be on that road. You have to cover 5 passes. So pass, is like 18,000 feet. You have to run and then come down again. And literally everything happened under that particular event. It was raining when we started. When we went up to North Pulu, there is North Pulu, there is Khardungla Pass, and there is South Pulu, which is at 16,000 feet.
So, sir, my thing is, see, when you said you practice for something like this, here you had temperature changes to an extent from minus to plus. You had steep roads. How could you practice if you're saying in Pune? I'm sure you practice in Pune. How did you practice? There the weather is different. Your oxygen level consumption is different. It is very difficult if you're practicing here to deliver it somewhere else. How was it? It's not.
You can't do anything like this for high altitude, because now there are oxygen chambers here available. But when I did 555, there were no oxygen chambers anywhere. I just had to prepare myself to sustain for 5 days, sustain for 6 days. Mentally, I have to be very strong. At the same time, I practice for power naps. What is power nap? What is quality sleep? How much you should eat? How you should continue with this 10 minutes of power nap? How you should be, back on the track again. 3 hours of quality sleep. What is quality sleep? So all those things I learned here. All the races have all taught me something. Like at 111, I learned something which I used in
this 555. So what is the most difficult thing that you achieved? You learned in the 555 run.
It was, see, when I reached North Pulu at 16,000 feet, it was minus 17 there.
Oh,
And see, August usually you never have snowfall, but that particular time there was snow. And we had knee level snowfall.
oh my
And
God.
when you're on a honeymoon or when you are on a holiday, probably the fresh snowfall is very good because you enjoy your walk. But when vehicles pass by, then that snowfall gets converted into black ice. Okay, and when it is black ice, it is very slippery. So I had to go from 16,000 feet to 18,000 feet and then come down to 16 again. That was the most difficult patch because it was slippery and we had sport shoes. I must have fallen on at least 40 times. I was lucky that I didn't fall in a very bad manner. There was no injury anywhere. And I could sustain myself. I moved ahead. And after 87 kilometers, your crew team joins you. And when we looked at each other, we were like so happy that बिछड़े हुए मेले में जब मिलते हैं ना दो भाई लोग वो we see it in the movie. It was something like this because it was a very very tough situation. Minus 17 degrees plus you're climbing at 16,000 to 18,000. It is a very dangerous place because anything can happen. At mountains, what happens is you don't get small injuries. If water gets into your lungs, it can be very very vital because you can die. All those things can happen there. And when we looked at each other, we were very happy. And then we moved ahead and we had to do 5 passes like this.
Wow.
So that was a wonderful journey again. We had snowfall, we had heavy rains, we had sunny weather, 35, 40 degrees. 35, 40 degrees in Pune and 35, 40 degrees in Ladakh. It's a huge difference. So you have to cover yourself all the time. And all those things happen.
So
And
that's what I'm saying. So when you run over here, you will run maybe in your shorts, in your t-shirts, in your shoes, and you're off for a run.
yes.
But when you're running over there, you will be you'll be covered from your head to your toe.
So what happens is...
How do you maintain how do you practice for something which is that intense? Because happy you don't have the facilities.
There are facilities like I do my Sinhagad runs. I practice Sinhagad in the daytime. Like when there is 12 o'clock, very sunny weather, I do my Sinhagad loops. They have a wonderful fort close by.
Right.
Then I should do Pune to Pachgani, walk, run, solo self-support to increase the mental strength. So I used to start at 5 o'clock in the evening and reach Pachgani the next day about 10 o'clock. Solo self-support. So solo and self-support gives you more strength. So, that endurance increases. And
Right, sir.
so mentally you're very strong to do that. So there are different ways to practice like this, to build your mindset to do these kind of activities.
Right, sir.
And I used to sleep only for 4 hours. Morning I used to do 42 kilometers, then come back home, have lunch and then move around, do your office work. Evening, spend time with your friends, come back, have dinner, and then watch TV for some time. 12 o'clock in the night I used to go out again, spend about 2 hours outside and come back at 2 o'clock. Sleep only for 4 hours and next day you do 42 again. So all those practice runs I did.
Wow.
So I could sustain myself with 3 hours sleep only.
So so you train your body to function in that way.
Yes. So all those things were required. And 111, whatever I learned, I used it in 333. 333, whatever I learned, I used it in 555. And that's why I'm like 333, I finished it just 31 seconds prior, but 555, I finished it 6 hours prior. And we were only 3 participants who could finish that race. And that gave me an opportunity to be the first and the only Indian to finish 555 kilometers.
That's a big achievement, sir, apparently, because completing that is not a joke.
More than that, the feel of accomplishment to be there for 126 hours continuously was a fantastic option.
Right, sir. So, sir, if anyone wants to run with you, do you run every day or, how is it? Do you make it a point to get up in the morning, put on your shoes and
I don't run every day. Have different schedules. There is leg strengthening. There is we have wonderful hills, so I do hill running. So different variations I have, and Saturday, Sunday usually I do long runs. Okay. But that also happens when I register for an event, and whatever that event is, accordingly I change my schedule. Yeah.
So, what is the most toughest run that you ever competed in or participated in?
Oh, you can't say that way because every run is important for me. So Brazil had its own difficulty. Brazil had, I gained 28,000 feet. And there was a descent of 28,000 feet. That's Brazil.
Whoa.
Badwater, the toughest foot race in world, USA, we have to run at 52 degrees Celsius. So you have to run on that white line. Otherwise your shoes melt. So I did my run there. Corollas Marathon was Ladakh, where you have all types of weather conditions.
So you had everything that is there for runners.
Absolutely.
You completed every genre of running that is there, every path apparently.
I Love doing that. I enjoy these. I don't call them as difficulties. So I enjoy these. Whatever obstacles come, I like to
Right.
overcome that and then be there. So Everest Marathon I did. It was another wonderful experience because you start running at Everest Base Camp
Right.
and you come down to Namche Bazaar.
Right.
So that was a different feel. Everything. So all these events has given me something and changed my perspective towards life and be a better person and cool, calm and composed.
No, sir. In today's lifestyle, people say that your lifespan of a human is reduced. Every few years, the lifespan of a human is reduced slowly. We have, I think, this is 65 is what they're saying that a human can survive for at least 65. So you are 50 plus, and you are fit, you're healthy, you're happy, you're strong. What is the secret behind it besides running? What is the secret behind this happiness, behind this positivity?
There's no secret as such. According to me, you must follow your dreams, chase your dreams. It is very important. Everybody has a hobby. Everybody has strong points. You just have to spend time with yourself, analyze your plus points, and work towards it. Because if you don't follow your dreams, and there's only there's a saying that life comes only once, and
Yeah.
you live your life. According to me, death comes only once. Okay, it is very important because life comes every day. It is up to us whether to
How do
choose
you
that
utilize
life.
it? Yeah.
So death, once you're dead, then everything is
Khadam.
over. There is nothing. So death comes only once. Life is there every day. So it is up to us to take that decision. My favorite dialogue is we're not born just to pay light bills and telephone bills and EMIs. Our life is much more to it.
Right.
We have to have our own story because there are too many role models everywhere. We sit and praise everybody. Arey, he's done this, he's done that, and so I feel you have to be your own role model. So then only you can create a story.
Correct.
You have to have your own story. Otherwise, we just sit and praise people. So
Absolutely
you have to
right.
have our own story. I think
Yeah.
that's what. And happiness lies in small things. We must, whatever stupid thing also, if you like it, you must do it. And if that gives you happiness, go ahead and do it.
No, so
Don't think of another
you,
way.
you love running. You ran throughout the country. You love riding as well. So any of your riding journeys that you've had, I'd like to share with us. Since you're a Harley rider and you've ridden any wonderful journeys on the motorcycle, on the hog.
Oh, I did. There's one, I must tell you, me and a friend of mine, we had decided that let's do 1,000-kilometer ride.
Right.
And there is a place little ahead of Hubli where there's a 500-kilometer, there's U-turn and you come back. And we took a turn and we were coming back, and just before Karad, we were crossing that place, and he went ahead. We both were going behind each other, and he moved ahead. And when I was going behind him, then suddenly there was a divider which came out. Okay, and there was a bus going, and then there was a divider which was out.
Right.
And I got stuck in between.
Oh.
I had no other option than to go through that, because if I had to brake, then probably things would have been dangerous. I went inside, and then the divider was coming. The divider hit the brake. Okay, not the brake. The divider hit the what do you call that? Where you keep your legs, the guard.
The guards.
And I went like this, and this was right in front of the bus. If I had to fall down, luckily I didn't fall down. If I had to fall down, probably the bus would have
Gone over
taken
you.
me. I didn't fall down, and I moved little ahead got slowly I went on the side, and then I stopped. He went ahead. He thought I'm following him.
Right.
And then after about 15-20 minutes, he realized that this Ashish is not behind. And then he came back to see what has happened. And I had to wait because, the brake wasn't working. And so that was a very dangerous move we did. But overall, we had Hampi ride, we had Jaisalmer ride, and riding is fantastic. Yeah.
You've taken your life as an adventure and you're enjoying it, and there's still a lot of more adventure lined up.
Oh, absolutely. There's no adventure. It is just that the way it comes.
Right.
And I don't plan things well in advance that, at 60 I have to do this and 70 I
Right.
have to do. There's nothing
Things
like
just
that.
happen and then let's go ahead with the flow.
I live the moment, I enjoy my today, and I move on. So,
Right, sir. So talking of an amazing book that's coming up, if I'm not mistaken, right? Can you tell us something about the book of yours that's coming up?
yes, this book is, I won't tell you the name because the launch is on 14th of January.
Right.
And the 14th of January morning, we will have a session at Open Air Amphitheatre because this is a runner's book. So this book is about, again, happiness and positivity. Running is part of that book.
Right, sir.
Like you said, cycling and riding is also part of it. This book is for all those people who believe in tomorrow and Monday and New Year's target. I'm sure after reading this book, they will decide to do something and start their journey. It is for them. And that's it. There is philosophy, there is enjoyment, celebrate life. That is what the book is all
Right.
about. So not only for runners, this book is for everybody who wants to do something in life. I'm
Superb.
sure it will help them to.
Definitely. I'm sure people will definitely pick up this book, and anything that's going to inspire them, they shouldn't step behind. They should, everybody needs some kind of motivation and inspiration in their lives. And you may not know where and how you may get it.
Absolutely.
So I'll share something with you. Me and my family were watching TV that day, and we said, let's see a movie. What movie? We were not sure because we're not sure because so many things on OTT that you get confused. So my wife said, let's watch this 12th Fail movie. I said, okay, let's go ahead and watch it. There was not a very big name, no big heroes or no big actors there. But the movie turned out to be so amazing that it left you with the message that if you have the urge to fulfill your dreams, no matter what, no matter how hard, you can and you will fulfill it.
Absolutely.
So you need maybe a movie, a book, a story, just to inspire you and push you ahead, and that's all about it.
Absolutely. What you need to do is just take a simple step towards your
Right, sir.
happiness or towards your goal. That is what is required.
Right, sir.
And yeah,
All I would like to say, sir, is thank you very much for coming into the studio and spreading this kind of positivity and happiness and sharing your message with all of us here. It has been an honor to interact with you, sir. Thank you very much for removing your valuable time and coming down here to Andropique presenting to Mic Testing.
thank you.
Thank you so very much for being here,
Thank you.
sir.
It's my pleasure to be here, and so thank you for the wonderful session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.